are going to be talking about this Azorius Blink deck that has seemingly been taking over standard, at least in terms of taking the top spot in a lot of the tournaments recently, especially winning DC. At least I believe it won that event, unless I looked at the wrong tournament results. But it is a very interesting style and an interesting take on what Azorius can be, being the fact that the curve is very misleading. We have a lot of flicker effects using Daydream to exile a creature and then return it to the battlefield, along with using Parting Gust, this being the main one we're using. So Quantum Riddler actually oftentimes fits as like a 3-drop being played for 2 and then Daydreaming. But if we have a Momo that's 1 and 1 and just for 2 mana, we can do that. Same with the Starfield Shepherd, it actually acts as a 2-drop. And then Helena also is a 1-drop most of the time, but we'll put her in the 2 mana slot just because you play for 1, then for 3, so on average she's being played for 2. The same with like the Sage Disguise, Aang, and then the kind of pop-off card in the deck is going to be Practiced Offense. This card can be played at 5 mana, and you'll see it in one of the games, or it can absolutely take your opponent by storm. For example, if we cheated this into play with the Daydream, it'll have 1 counter and a Momo, which is kind of the combo you'll see. This will be at 1, this will be at 5 because of the 1/1 counter from Daydream. We play this, putting this at 2 and this at 6, giving this double strike and then flashing it back, giving this double strike. So we'll have a 3 and a 7, swinging for double strike for a total of 20 and being able to one-shot your opponent. So you're never really out when it comes to this deck. But other than that, let's go ahead and dive into the matches. Okay, well, seems like a good keep, right? I think we could play this on 2, if I'm not mistaken. It'll cost 1 less here, so it'll be 2 mana. We'll play land, play drum. Drum will activate on Momo, casting that. Pretty sweet combo. Drum's a 1-of, I believe, by the way. But turn 2, making 2/2/3 lifelinkers is pretty good. And this has flying too, which makes like the next one a bit weird, but we do have enough mana to just hard cast it anyway. Looks like, I would say, it looks like we're gonna get to Reanimator, and they kind of airball. They can put a flyer in play, I guess. Like, obviously not that one. I'm just saying, like, that is a card that we do have to worry about that could be in their deck now. Okay, we're gonna do something cool here. Full control mode. We're gonna play Pixie. We're gonna auto resolve it here. And with all this stuff on the stack, we're gonna target here. Shouldn't bounce it right away. We can do this. We can get back up. And then we can now, with the floating mana, cast another Sage Disguise. Momo's huge. Attack for quite a lot here. And really, with no big card in their yard, that we might just be able to get there. We do have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 in the air. So if they have a flyer, it will block one of these 2. The life that they lose off this might be enough to get us there. So assuming they block 2, we have 9. That also assumes we hit no flyer or anything to play in addition, and this is probably about as fast as we could have gotten there. They don't answer Momo, and they use this for mana. It gets them anyway, especially if it's something like a Bitter Triumph. They play Island, and they have one of these. It doesn't matter. Like, it matters for them and actually saves them a turn. Then they just need an Arden or something like that to take over the game with a Bringer to potentially hit the yard. They play Island. We have Flyer here. We have Town Greeter plus Island to maybe bounce something. It's all in there except obviously the good card. Go here. Play here. Cast this, putting a 1/1 on everything. Just like that, we get it. What a rip off the top. Obviously playing around a bounce spell, of course. I do think it might have had enough anyway, but if we have the chance and our opponent's allowing us to do the cool pop-off thing, I am gladly going to take that. So with that, we'll move on. Going first again. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't really love this hand. Although, this is a sorcery. Warp stays, though. We can go here, here, and here on this, I guess. I don't think this matters. So I am just going to go ahead and shock this in on blue. They have the Azula sleeves, too. They have more ball knowledge than me, which is tough. We are going to have a Riddler fully online on turn 2, which is pretty nice. Should ask me, or I should be able to do something before it just rips through my turn here. I'm just getting to do all the wombo combo nonsense here. And just like that, I have a 5/6 that for whatever reason was darkly shaded. Obviously can just remove it, but I think that's really good value. Ooh. Ooh. What to do here? Just hold up an Aang, hit them for 5? Up an Aang or this? Well, I guess I can't hold up Aang. Well, I can't hold up that either. Wait a minute. Oh, I might be punting. Make it a little bit larger, I guess. I didn't even think about that. I tried to throw that game in the wind, but realistically, this should never be enough to actually get us out here. They attack, obviously, I just throw a block, and at 20, I can't think of a world where I'm just dead here. Giving it trample's good, but again, not what this card's built for. It's built to throw the creatures. Obviously, I block. I will take 1 here. I'll fully take that trade. That trade is really good for me. What do I want to do? I keep kind of missing here. Do I want to hit them or do I just hold? Or do I just play this? Maybe just playing this. Flick shot, haste does kind of cause some problems. Alright, opponent, I'm just thinking here. I don't know what to do, actually. No attacks, we hold. Not hitting this land has really sucked. We had such a good take here. I want to make sure that they do something here so I can airbend it. They're not going to really have the hexproof and things like that. If I fizzle this target, though, that'd be pretty tight. They won't draw off this. They'll get a look. They already played a land. Now that card's gone, and now I can use this as my mana source, and we win. Very cool. What fast games these are. Opponent first. Our hand is a little slow, but we'll try. I guess here I play this tapped. This goes and grabs a Momo. Leave. Oh, it might just be too slow. Yeah, we're probably too slow. Here. Thankfully, 2 Awakens are gone in that spot. Maybe I'm supposed to maul for a more aggressive hand. But yeah, I just have a good feeling we're just gonna get absolutely trounced here, unfortunately. Flyer, this won't do much. They're always just gonna have it ready here, which sucks. But I guess if they use an entire board wipe for that, we're not like super opposed. Maybe our opponent takes it a bit slow and we can maybe close the door pretty quick. Really just depends. I think like committing too much more here doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Especially if the bringer's just their play. A little part of me just wants to maybe barrel this and then go for this on a follow play to really just randomly pop the board for a lethal turn. Let's go Starfield here. Pump. And then we grab, this is like a perfect, actually it's probably, I'm gonna grab a Pixie here because I do have the Springleaf Drum to go with it. So we hit him for 4. If it's Cosmo plus Pixie. My opponent concedes. We probably should not have won that game, right? Hopefully CMRIP can find value, or it won't. One of the two. Probably control, which is not great. Imagine control is a bit tough. Felix always a strong card. Although if we do get to play this and do this, it's really good. This shock. Okay. Go for this instead then. Yep. I feel like we're just gonna have a struggle bus the entire way. Yep. Oh, no more lives. Sick for us, I guess. I don't even have to do this now. Just play this. Isn't it crazy they just have Revelation next turn? Man. Well, 4 or 5. I guess they're short. Little. It's gonna be such a hard matchup. Just staring into board wipes and stuff. I feel like we have to be a bit committal here. One of these. Okay. Interesting use of the flashback. One still resolves. So, here, I guess. This is also 2 mana or less, so we can't exile this, even if we wanted to. It also, I think it's what? Only enchantment creature when this exile target non-land. Oh, it's non-land, but still can't pick that up, so it doesn't really matter. They stock up for land. They find 4 mana a day. That judgment would just put us in the ground, fortunately. But sure. The way to keep the bridge separate for sure. We have a very small window to close this game, and we're not finding it, I'll tell you that much. We just don't have the Zenith, or we don't have the card that pumps our whole board. And idealistically, if I'm this control player, this is my favorite matchup. They have such an advantage in this match. At least I have felt. I play a bit of control, as I've been told. 6. The Revelation. If it's Revelation, I just concede. The game's over. It's like been over, but we're gonna make them do it. Okay. My opponent got a free matchup, I guess. And I don't know. I just feel like that matchup's really, really hard. Especially Jeskai is gonna have more pure mana. Well, there's not even Jeskai. I mean, 4 color that's gonna have more pure removal. That's really hard to deal with. That also keeps them in the game. And just this into this and being unable to answer this and not having a super quick hand is just going to put us behind the entire game. So, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, here we have a bit more aggressive hand. Aggressive? Yeah. What am I on about? Hopefully. Well, we're going to do this the opposite way like we talked about last time. Where we play a Springleaf Drum first. So our creature is protected from, like, removal against blue-red, most likely. And then we can play this and the Momo into Sage, which can help bridge the gap in this match pretty hard. And here I was hoping they would just pass. They won't be able to respond in time. We will automatically be able to float this mana. Have to have like a spell snare here, but because they don't, we'll auto play here. Play 2 flying 2/3s that have lifelink. And reminder, this is a cast, by the way. It's not like an ETB, so flickering it to be our second spell that would enter or something doesn't work. Just another opt, maybe? Could have answered maybe Momo. Into the Flood Maul, bouncing a creature. Okay. Not doing it on their turn. They were what seemed to be stressed for mana. A lot of times that main phase opt there can do that. We don't have to block this like ever, because this should idealistically get us out of it. We can also play a Quantum Riddler and then play this and then have a 5/7 on the board. Thankfully, none of our stuff right now is super hittable with a spell snare. Oh, Pierce can obviously do it. They can Burst Lightning me or hit Momo. That's fine. They do. They wanted me to block, so they got the trade and everything. But the goodie bag's not that open, I promise. So we go here. We play the Riddler. And then we just flicker it. And holding this as a blocker doesn't make a ton of sense. Just going to do that with our Riddler, of course. I want this to gain life every single turn, and then this to be as hard as possible to answer. I could just play the Pixie to pick this up, but I will do that next turn to make better blockers. Or I could maybe do it now, but then I only have the Pixie. I'd much rather have a 5/7 at the helm here. That requires like a kick spell and stuff like that. Stock up's pretty tame for the turn. It's really good in this deck, but it does take a turn to set up. 1 mana. Rule them all. And this is what I'm obviously afraid of, just the kind of tempo bounce nonsense, where they just use that to maybe outvalue the game here. So, oh, another one. Actually kind of sick. I now don't even want to use this. I kind of want to play Pixie, do kind of the trick I did before. Go to combat, hit for 2. Go to full control. Play a land. Let's play Pixie. Solve. Here. Yes. Let's do a white. Tap. Need full control mode anymore. This will be our second spell. So then we cast this again. Making 2 more 2/3 blockers and then play a Springleaf Drum. These can maybe double block one, so we can maybe trade one off. 6 toughness going to be kind of hard to get rid of unless they have another Burst Lightning. Another stock up is good though. Normally Flow State's a card that they're really wanting in a spot like this. 1 cheaper, kind of the same effect. I can just hard cast the Riddler. A shock. Light a hand. Burst Lightning will take out both of these, but if their goal is just to win with these, I will just double block. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Or in a situation like this, if they double attack, which I think they will, I'll just make the turn neutral. They'll answer my actual copy, or at least I hope they answer the actual copy. So we turn this turn into like a neutral play. Now they have 1/1s and Momo, such a sick draw here. So I will... Should I shock this? I think so. Play Momo. Play Riddler. Keep this a bit high. Draw 2. 2 lands is not ideal. But I will swing the Lifelinkers. 10 to 14, 5, maybe 6 mana here for them. This is where they want the Flow States to pop off. A Slick Shot is getting blocked all day. There's just 0 chance. Ancestral Anger is a sorcery. You're not going to really have a fling. You only play so many, like, instant speed bounce spells. They'll be on Boomerang eventually. Not looking to buy anything off these, it seems. I only really have to block the slick shot with my 2/2, right? Here's another opt. Sure. Momo will also be a blocker here. Again, Pixies just gets to freely block this. Quantum Riddler will block a 4/6, and I'll probably throw Momo in front of it as well, just in case this last card happened to be like another instant speed opt or something. Because again, if they opt, for example, my Quantum Riddler wouldn't answer that as a 5/5, but it still wouldn't answer my Riddler. If they bounce my Momo, then the Quantum Riddler, worst case scenario, bounces off. My Momo lives. If they Burst Lightning Momo, then the trade still happens. Or doesn't happen, my Quantum Riddler still lives. If they Burst Lightning the Riddler, then Momo and the Riddler still trade with the Otter, and I lose both, but at least the Otter's gone. And obviously Slick Shot's gone to my Pixie, and then they end up hitting me for 5. And then we can immediately restock with this, hopefully, and kind of not draw another land. That'd be pretty cool, but yeah, we'll take the win. Maybe my hand's a bit too expensive. I think I have to mall to try to find some cheaper stuff. But I do have to kind of keep here, I think. And do I want to let my Pixie go? I think so. Because I think my turn is pretty much... I think my turn is land. Oh, we might just be cooked, bro. How we end up getting there. I'm going to do this to grab Momo, I guess. Oh, we are cooked. I mean, I think we're just going to get a best of one here. I don't need a land. I'm just going to grab Momo. I think it's going to have to be Momo into Sage here. The idea was maybe that, you know, daydreaming a Quantum Riddler was good enough. Or a Boroid. I'm just moving on. Okay. It's pretty good. Sure. 4, 5, 6. Looking a little tough, I'm not gonna lie. But Momo. Page. I think it's definitely an agreement that our opening hand was too slow, and I think our follow-up 6 is too slow, but a mull to 5 is, unless you're red, is basically an auto loss. Most of the time, especially in best of 1. Best of 3, you can obviously mull to 5 all the time. A lot of times your opponent's mulling as well. Creature's gonna fight a creature. Sure. Or maybe not even fight a creature. Just gonna straight up answer a creature. Oh, okay. Yep. They have 2 fight spells in their hand. A bit bad, but we are on the play. So I think I go Passage on Island, Pele Plains. Then look to go Riddler Daydream. Kind of flood out her hand. Could be fine. Maybe. Being on the play makes a card like Riddler active a lot quicker. Sometimes why mulling is actually fine. Sometimes you can mull. If you have a Riddler, it basically makes it voided. Oh, it's like we played this already. Honestly, I'm just going to throw a Pixie out there just so they remove it, to be honest. I have a weird feeling that they will. No, or I don't. I don't have any feeling. I have no more feelings. Update, I have a feeling that they're going to use a Burst Lightning on that. Apparently I'm a genius. I don't know. I get nervous when I see lands like that, because then I just think every single time I'm just like, if this is only for instants and sorceries, I'm going to actually lose it. Team is pretty strong. Going to answer this low to the ground creature, buy us a little time. You can play this, maybe draw some extra cards. Maybe look to do this and actually pop them for a lot. But we don't really want to do that quite yet, I don't think. I think it's definitely team rip, take out the 2-2. There's no way they attack here. That would just be really, really bad. Daydream's obviously pretty cool. Team rip taking one of those and then maybe putting a counter on this, giving it like lifelink would make sense, but I think it's kind of bad. I think I do kind of want to dump my hand a bit. Try to make my Riddler good. Could have exiled that, but I just not sold that it's the best thing in the world. I can also just play Riddler for free. I will flicker it just to kind of draw an extra card here. It matters a lot. Almost pretty good. Let's play it down. Again, we want to be as low on cards in hand as possible, especially on the fact that I can go land and activate this maybe if I draw a cheap enough card. And then activating this puts me on drawing a lot, especially with Riddler. They flow state again. Kind of just dirtling right now, not finding a lot of their bounce. They used a boomerang on the Storm Chasers earlier. Taking out the Nuisance would make a lot of sense. Definitely don't want that thing floating around, especially with how many cards it can draw. But again, Riddler can kind of do that itself. We can flicker this and answer their creature, which would be kind of nice. We could put counters on this. I'm pretty close to Double Strike just being lethal with this. Or is Double Strike lethal right now? So counters on my creature. This goes to 6 and then 7 for 14 for Double Strike. I think I have lethal with this. Double Strike. Here. Strike. Did this earlier. Yeah, I would say it's exactly 20. But because we were short earlier, I think they were at 21. Unfortunately, but yeah, we'll take that one. Okay, so here we are with the list after. This list has really been dominating competitive play. It's so sick, and the way that it curves out and the fact that you have kind of a lot of fun tricks. The curve here looks insane. And even on the chart here, you can see it's like 17 1-drops, 2 2-drops, 12 3-drops, which a lot of them are 1-drops. Because this necessarily ain't. But this is also a 1-drop. This, a lot of times, because of Momo, is a 2-drop. Same with Aang being just a 1-of. And this is a true 3-drop. We do have a couple true, but this is only a 2-drop. And same here most of the time. And when you cast it. So this is a bit more of what the curve looks like a lot of times. So don't be fooled by like the chart itself. But the sideboard is also super sick. We got Rest in Peace. We got Spell Pierce. No More Lies to help. I don't know what this is. This costs me Blight 2. Choose one. This spell's an additional cost paid. Destroy target artifact and enchantment. Destroy target creature mana value 3 or greater. That's actually kind of sweet. Feels a bit expensive. Maybe this should just be like a get lost or something. But artifact and enchantments that can exile all of our stuff is good. Let me click out and click back in here. Deck's super sweet. It is very good. It seems like it works well in best of one and just kind of needs curated a little bit. I don't know why I'm putting my rares in the wrong spot than I normally do it. But it seems like it might need curated just a little to be a bit more ready for best of one. But we do have a lot of commons. We do have a lot of rares and a kind of few mythics. And one of them being an absolute all-star in Quantum Riddler. And Cosmogrant is one of the better kind of mythics that are out there right now. It's a little underexplored right now, I think. Are a little left behind. But it works as a 2-of in this deck. Not too many more than I would play here. I think most of our sideboard is also, other than Curiosity and Wrath, I think is all common or uncommon. Yeah. Our Rest in Peace is a rare too, right? Yeah. So, with that, I hope you all enjoy it. I've been a little under the weather, trying to kick it. Everybody kind of got a bug one at a time. So, one person was sick, and then they got over it, and the next person was sick, and I just ended up sleeping for like 14 to 16 hours instead, and feel pretty okay, other than like a headache, but been trying to make sure doing everything I can to be good because I don't want to be all too sick. But with that, I hope you all enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.